It's an ingredient found in your soap, in your toothpaste, in your body wash, even your clothing, and now its safety is being called into question. Today on Delmarva Life, we're going to learn why triclosan is causing health concerns.
40 million accounts, your credit or debit cards, your personal information was compromised when someone hacked into Target's system. So how do you protect yourself from becoming an identity theft victim? We have your answers.
Grades, sports, clubs, community volunteering, all could impact your child's chance of getting into college. But when do you need to get started? We're going to help you get your teen into the school of their dreams. And speaking of dreams come true, take a look at this. A rolling dance chair allowing disabled kids the chance to hit the dance floor. Coming up, we're going to introduce you to the woman making it happen.
It's a restoration project that's been years in the making, and it has finally reached a pivotal moment. The latest on the Skipjack Rosie Parks and where you will now find her.
And if you're trying to eat healthier in 2014 and you're looking for a salad with a lot of oomph, we've got a recipe for you. Delmarva Life starts right now. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Lisa Bryant.
I'm Jimmy Hopple. Welcome to Delmarva Live from historic Studio D.
And we want to say happy anniversary to us. Can you believe us? It was 2 years ago today. There we are. Oh, look at those kids. That Delmarva Life made its debut. Do you guys remember this? Jimmy with the beard and me with the hair.
And of course, Brian, who still looks the same. How does he do that?
I don't know how he does that.
2 years. It seems like it's taken forever, and it's going like that at the same time.
It has.
Wow.
Here's to many, many more.
Yep, there you go. Well, we are starting our show today with a great story of success.
After sitting on land for decades, the skipjack Rosie Parks is once again back in the water where she belongs. This after an extensive restoration, which took more than 2 years to complete.
It is a story that we've been following here on Delmarva Life from the very beginning. Brian Spiros was there for the pivotal moment when the Rosie Parks was relaunched. Brian?
Well, Jimmy and Lisa, there she is. You know, the last time we saw the Skipjack Rosie Parks, she was still on land, as you can tell. That is no longer the case, and her entrance back into the water was a moment many people had been waiting for.
Thousands of people gathered at the Chesapeake Bay Maritime Museum in St. Michael's this past November. They were there to witness a moment very few boats ever see. A second chance in the water.
It's fascinating to me, and yes, it is a dream come true.
For Mary Parks Harding of Cambridge, this day has special meaning. It was back in 1955 when her father, Bronza, built the Rosie Parks in southern Dorchester County. The boat was then given to Bronza's brother, Orville. Sadly, in 1958, Bronza Parks was shot and killed after an argument with a man he was building a boat for. Orville would keep the Rosie Parks until 1975, when he brought it to the Chesapeake Bay Maritime Museum. The boat would sit there for 36 years. Slowly falling apart and rotting away, the museum decided to completely restore the skipjack, a process which began in April of 2011. And Delmarva Life followed the process as volunteers and shipwrights restored the Rosie Parks. Piece by piece,
Up,
plank by plank, just the way Bronza did decades earlier.
out.
One of our masters said, when I'm done with this project, you shouldn't see my hand in this. It should still show Bronza Parks' workmanship. I'm a ghostwriter for Bronza Parks.
In October, the skipjack was then placed in the water with the help of a crane, allowing the wood to swell, a process every wooden boat must go through. Rosie was then placed in position along these tracks, ready for her ceremonial entrance back into the water.
58 years and 7 days ago, on October 26, 1955, this boat kissed the water for the first time. In a few moments, she'll be doing that again.
But before that happens, every ship must be christened. Mary Parks Harding did the honors, as did Orville's granddaughter, Sharon. And not far from them, this life-size image of Bronza Parks that was never more than a few feet away from the whole restoration process.
It has never bothered me before, but today I was standing right in front of it before I realized it was there, and it was emotional. I felt like I couldn't even talk. I was that emotional. And that's just not my nature to be that way.
And then the moment everyone had been waiting for. With the help of a pulley system and guidance from those who helped bring her back to life, the Rosie Parks was eased into the water. A process that was slow and steady. People watched with tears in their eyes. And then the moment came. The Rosie Parks officially kissed the water once again.
The excitement was almost overwhelming. A big sigh of relief, and very, very happy to see that everything went smoothly, and really shows everyone's hard work and dedication to the project.
The emotion in this today was truly overwhelming, and what really brought it home for me was how many people turned out to see this. And I think we've got so many more people who wish they could be here.
This skipjack represents something different to so many people, but for Mary Parks Harding, it brought the memory of her father back to life.
I can't describe the emotion. It was just unreal. It was emotional for me when I saw her sliding back in the water again. I can remember the day she was launched the first time.
Once fully back in the water, dozens of family members gathered on board. This day was a family reunion of sorts.
One came from Oregon, one came from New Mexico, several from Virginia, from Florida. They've come from everywhere, and I don't see all of them very often either.
A piece of local maritime history is once again back in the water, right where she belongs.
And even though the Rosie Parks is back in the water, she is far from complete. A great deal of work still has to be done throughout the skipjack. However, she will finally be finished sometime this spring. And with that said, Jimmy and Lisa, we'll send it back to you guys in the studio.
How awesome is that?
That is an awesome story.
That is incredible.
And it's a great story of perseverance as well. And along those lines, we want to say congratulations to Community Foundation Executive Director Doug Wilson. You may remember Doug was on our show just last month talking about the Community Foundation. The Wicomico Executives Fitness Council awarded him the year's first award of excellence in recognition of his significant lifestyle change through exercise. Apparently he had been overweight most of his life, and his doctor told him, you know, lose 100 pounds or I'm going to be visiting you in the morgue. Exactly. So Wilson said that he went ahead and he changed his lifestyle, and he's lost 80 pounds so far. So we want to say congratulations to him, and a wonderful person as well. Here's a picture of him receiving the award from Fitness Council member Marion Keenan, who nominated him, and Tom Brown, who is chair of that council.
How awesome is that?
Yeah.
Great job. Great job. Also want to say, while we're passing out the kudos,
sure,
congratulations to the Phi Beta Sigma fraternity, whose members celebrated their 100th anniversary today.
Wow.
Take a look at this picture. On the left, Curtis A. Thomas Sr., he's the president of the fraternity's Delta Gamma Sigma chapter. There in the center, James L. Simmons III, he's the state director of Phi Beta Sigma. And on the right, James L. Larks, who is president of the fraternity's Lambda Delta Sigma chapter. The Phi Beta Sigma fraternity was founded in 1914 by 3 African-American students at Howard University in Washington, D.C., with a mandate to serve the community from within. And in the century since then, the fraternity has branched out across the world, more than 200,000 members in more than 700 chapters.
Wow.
Great job.
And speaking of serving the community and a rich history, it started in, get this, 1864 to preserve Civil War material, and its first recorded donation was an alleged piece of the boat George Washington used to cross the Delaware River in 1776.
Oh my.
3 million objects and one name change later. The Delaware Historical Society is marking its 150th anniversary. Now, a 4-part lecture series on key figures from 1864 starts next week.
Oh, that's
if you want to attend that.
That is good stuff there. The Delaware chapter of the National Multiple Sclerosis Society, if you're looking for a way to get your kids involved in reading, this is a great idea. They're starting their 2014 Readathon program. The MS Readathon is an educational fundraising program that was created by the National Sclerosis Society to encourage reading, promote community involvement and raise disability awareness. The Delaware chapter encouraging schools all across the state to enroll. So far, 16 schools have registered to participate. And if it sounds like something that your school would be interested in and like to get in on it, all you have to do is go to delmarvalife.com and you can find out more.
We all know how important reading is.
Oh, yeah.
And maybe your child is more of an artist.
Right.
Well, here's something they might be interested in. A mural contest is underway in Berlin for Stephen Decatur Park. Take a look at this one. It was done in 1992, and judges are currently looking at 9 entries from high school students. Mary Bolin, Berlin's deputy town administrator, said there was no exact schedule for the project yet, but that she hoped it could coincide with the annual spring cleanup event that takes place in that town in April.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
Oh, that would be great.
Yeah.
I would look forward to that. Well, while we're talking about art,
Yeah.
fortunately, it's warmer today. Oh my goodness. It's supposed to get warmer as we get into the weekend.
Sure.
But we are still seeing some really amazing pictures from cities that were impacted by the polar vortex.
And
Look
it
at
looks
this.
like art, doesn't it?
Look at that.
These are all along the Lake Michigan in Chicago, where all the wind had kicked up and ice builds up along the banks. And, you know, the wind would blow the ice up and then it would freeze, or blow the water up and it would freeze. And that's what you got. That's Mother Nature's art.
That's
No
fascinating.
contest there. That's beautiful.
If it wasn't so cold, I'd wander around for hours and look at that. You know that moment, talking about pictures, you know that moment when you take a picture and inevitably somebody either blinks or they look away or something like that?
Sure.
Okay. Imagine that moment when you take the picture of being just the right one.
Okay.
Okay, just the right moment. For instance, well, here, take a look at these pictures. Taken 1 second before a not-so-sweet 16.
Oh, there goes the cake.
1 second before he swore off lattes for the rest of his life. 1 second before a nasty breakup.
Oh.
And finally, taken 1 second before he realized BMX just may not be for him.
Ouch. Ouch. Ugh.
I would love to take those pictures. It was great.
Well, still ahead on Delmarva Life, you find it in the bathroom, the kitchen. Some carry it in their purse. Antibacterial products are everywhere, but now they're under fire. The FDA says some of these products may do more harm than good. Well, what does that mean for you? We're going to find out.
Almost as important as protecting your health, protecting your identity. And a lot of personal information was recently compromised as Target revealed a major security breach just before Christmas. We're going to learn some simple steps that you can take to keep your personal information in and hackers out.
And staying in the high-tech world, we head back to the Consumer Electronics Show in Las Vegas to get a sneak peek at some of the cool gadgets that are turning heads this year.
And it's Thursday, you know what that means. A little bit later on, we're going to head into the kitchen. After all the fattening but delicious fare that we made over the holidays, we're trimming things down a little bit. Today, Chef Paul Gallo from Abbott's Grill is going to show us how to make a delicious and healthy French salad. Delmarva Life will be right back.
Delmarva Life is brought to you by Sussex County Federal Credit Union, guiding you to your financial future. Peninsula Regional Medical Center, honored to serve the entire Delmarva Peninsula since 1897. Your local York and LG dealers, and State Farm Insurance. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.